Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Cast Conversations. Today, we have a very special guest, the one and only Anthony Bosch. Welcome, Anthony. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm just doing fantastic. How are you doing, Phil?
Oh, I'm good. For all of you that don't know, Anthony was my roommate and now very good friend from Disney. Although we didn't actually live in the same room.
No, that's a strange thing.
Yeah, you always blame me for not rooming with you, but I always say what was it? No, I didn't get there in time because I showed up first before you, right?
Yeah, I was like the last one to show up because I had like all my things to do in the morning, and my mom was still with me, so I technically didn't move into the apartment until like 2 days after you did. So I know you,
2 days?
Connor. Yeah, because my mom was up there, so I just had my stuff in the car I took down. Then I didn't move it in until like 2 days after. I moved some stuff in, but I
Well,
also
I got there and Hayden, I guess Hayden's parents had already claimed the one bed in the two-person room.
right.
So I didn't want to go in there and join Hayden. Nothing against Hayden. Hayden, great guy.
God, he was fantastic to
Great
roommate.
guy.
That guy was so clean. He didn't make a noise when he slept. Like, yeah, he was the perfect roommate. I was one that felt bad because I was like, I snore in my sleep. I didn't have a bed mat, and like those beds would screech if you didn't have one. So like,
I guess, but backing up, we should explain that. So our room was me and Anthony and a guy named Connor Williams. Connor Williams Vlogs.
Love that man.
And Paxton Osbun.
Yes, bun.
And Hayden Freitas.
Hayden Freitas from Dillon, South Carolina.
So Anthony and Hayden roomed together, and it was me, Paxton, and Connor in the other room. So Paxton, Connor, Anthony, and we had all met on Facebook and decided we were rooming together. But then we had our fifth random guy, which was Hayden. But we really lucked out that he was such a good roommate.
Oh, he was fantastic, and he's a partier, so he was never in the house at all. So, which it was sad, but fine, just because sometimes having too many in the apartment can be overwhelming. But there's actually one thing you forgot I left out about the whole roommate situation. Like you and I were like the first. You and I were like, no, I contacted you, but then there's like those other two guys, and then they're like, oh, we're like full advantage, whatever, spring advantage.
Shout out Jared.
Yeah, if he ever listens to this. So yeah, it was like Jared and some other guy, and they both were like, "Oh yeah, we're out in August, so we feel like we're on your own." So I don't know. I think I found Paxton because he was looking for somebody. Then Paxton contacted Connor. Then that's how the four amigos got together and had quite the experience, I would say,
for a college weird program. Because I had no clue about anything about you guys. And then Anthony in our group chat, before we even had met each other, is like, guys, I'm so greasy. Like, don't get offended by all my greasiness. Anthony says greasy for pretty much anything dirty.
You'll probably hear it in the podcast today.
Yeah. So I was expecting a little, like, somewhat nasty. But then Anthony was the one, like, always cleaning. And I felt so bad because I was way more dirty than you were.
Phil was the messiest of them all. Well, no, Paxton was the one night when he cooked chicken and didn't clean up his like raw chicken and the whole place smelled like fish. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. But you would always like make chicken wings and like I would just like leave the dirty like what's it called pan I guess you could say for like a few days. Yeah, I'll just be like, Phil's gonna clean it.
I'd make the chicken wings, and I was bad at cleaning up my mess.
Yeah, I got over it. I just wanted to make a good impression because in Minot, I'm from Minot, North Dakota, by the way, so you might hear a good accent.
So any of you guys who make fun of North Dakota, you're making fun of Anthony.
We don't sound like the people in Fargo, just so you're all we'll make everything clear.
What do you mean by that?
The movie Fargo. Because
Oh,
like
oh,
you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
watch it, they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, you betcha," That's like the whole movie, and people are always like, "Is that how everybody sound up there?"
Uh,
Also,
it comes out in you sometimes.
oh, if I say Dakota, you can hear the Oda.
Yeah, yeah.
But but yes, we actually have cars and internet up here, and we don't live in igloos like a lot of people also think.
Only some people live in igloos.
Oh yeah, but oh boy, I already lost track what we were talking about.
What were we talking about? We were talking about
The cleaning stuff.
cleanliness. But
Yeah.
Paxton would have an issue with throwing all of his clothes over the floor.
Oh boy, I didn't have to deal with that luckily because I had Hayden who did his laundry twice a week. If he even got half full in his basket, he would throw it away.
That
Like
was kind of bad about the college program, the laundry. Just it was so far away.
yeah. Oh, but if since this is a Disney podcast, did you ever see that episode of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, where like it basically focused on like being roommates and like Cody was always clean, but Zach was always dirty. And
Yeah,
do you
yeah, I know
remember
what
that?
you're talking about.
You remember that episode where like Cody like made his bed so tight that if he like flicked a nickel off the bed, it would like come straight up and he'd catch it because it's that
Oh
hard.
yeah, yep,
That's
yep.
like how Hayden would make his bed. He gave us
That-
that size.
Yeah, it was. That one of my favorite things. He would jam out in the shower.
Oh boy,
Absolutely jam out.
like that. He saved my life one time because I didn't set my alarm, but he was jamming out at like 7 a.m. and I had to be the bus by like 7:52, and I would have definitely overslept if he wasn't jamming out to Demi Lovato that morning.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, you remember how the very first day? So we each get assigned check-in times, and for some reason they're all like different.
Oh yeah.
When you're first getting there, but I was waiting on mine, and I remember Paxton texted our group saying he needed a ride to be picked up. So I was like, I just thought to myself, I'm not doing anything. So I said, Paxton, I'll come get you. And this is the first time I'm ever meeting Paxton in my life. I I drive over there, and I don't realize that he's gonna have several suitcases at least to put in my
On a
car.
plane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt so bad because I had so much stuff already in my car because I hadn't unpacked it into our room yet. And I showed up and I was just like, "Hey Paxton, how's it going? I'm Phil." And he he was just he did not seem happy to see me.
He never seemed happy. Like I walked into the apartment the first day, and like all he did was just nod. He wasn't like, "Oh hey," he just nodded like we knew each other for years. But anyway, go on with your
But
story.
yeah. So then I just looked at my car and I looked at him and I just said, "I don't think it's gonna fit." And and he said, "I'll just get an Uber." And so I drove all the way back to the apartment and just waited for my check-in. That was my first interaction with Paxton, and I felt so bad.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Paxton most recently out of all you guys.
Yeah, I saw that when you went to Disney.
Yep, me and him went to
Was that Good Burger, the Disney Springs thing? Something
no, it was the
deluxe.
burger place right next to. It's a new one that wasn't there down
Oh,
there, right next to the restaurant we won't mention yet. But
oh, how was that?
it was good. It was good, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing Paxton. Of course, that chatterbox,
Oh, we
He-
love Paxton. Like,
good old Paxton.
dude had his moments, but at the end of the day, we love good old Paxasack.
So, for all you listeners, Paxton actually is currently in the Disney program again right now.
Again.
So when my family went down to Disney, I met up with him and hung out with him for a little bit. And but he told me that one of his roommates or his roommate this past program told him, or he moved out, because he told him that Paxton talks too much.
That's so sad but hilarious. And I like Paxton's probably like, oh, all right. Like didn't even think of it. Dude, that guy should just stay there permanently because like he leaves.
I think that's his plan now.
Like he was there full time. Like he didn't extend his program when we left. He like went straight to full time. Then like he was like, gotta go back to Texas, Amarillo. Then
Good
he
old
went back
Amarillo.
Amarillo skies. Then he went for like a semester. Then boom, he's back at Disney again. So hopefully he'll just stay down there, and hopefully he does well.
What a guy, though. What a guy.
Yeah.
So what's more about our first days? I guess I ended up riding to Traditions with Connor.
All right.
I remember I was so nervous about not catching the right bus, or
Same.
I just didn't know what I was supposed to be doing because there was so much for us to do. Like we had like 5 seconds to toss some stuff in our room, and then it was right on to casting.
Yeah, it was like casting, then Traditions. Oh, I got a story about Traditions for all you later. Yeah, it was like Traditions, and I had to get a drug test because
I had to get one too. They ran it's random, right? I think. They
no,
just
it just
randomly
depends
select you.
because like since you were technically attractions, that you have to be
yeah, you have to be able to. You can't
like,
be under the influence.
No,
running attractions and stuff. Yeah,
and we haven't gotten into it yet. But I was a lifeguard at Disney.
Yeah, I guess
of course
we haven't said that.
Right. So I lifeguarded. So of course, like you have to be on your feet all day and like alert at all times. And like, of course, if you're like under the influence, like you can't pay attention to see if some kid is drowning or see if some turds floating in the pool. Like, so yeah, but then luckily
it was weird that the drug testing area it was odd.
An apartment.
What?
Where was yours? Was yours like in an apartment in like
it was in Vista Way apartment.
Yeah, I was like, this is sketch.
And we're all just chilling on the couches, drinking water, so we can all build up enough fluid to have to go to the bathroom. And then they call you into the individual room and be like, "All right, you're up. Here's your cup. Go in the bathroom."
Oh God, I know.
I hate doing that because you just have to pinch it off pretty much, and it's terrible.
Well, then you got to pinch it off just so you don't overflow the cup because chugging water.
The cup's small.
Yeah, they don't need much. Like I think you can get a spit test too, and it just do just the same. I don't know why we can't do that.
That's pretty funny.
But luckily, what was the thing after like Traditions? It was like
after Traditions. Oh, everybody had to do the 4 keys basics, right?
That's what it was.
Connor
and I had that. Luckily, but
together.
Yeah, we.
Oh, you guys are so lucky. That was brutal.
Oh, we did like the first few, but then like we split off because he did like a rides part. Then I had to go do like the aquatics part, and they're like, "What's some ways you can make magic in lifeguard?" And they basically were like, "Nothing, because you got to keep your eyes on the water. You can't talk to people."
Oh my gosh!
I'm like, yeah, this is great.
I haven't gotten into it yet because I'm going to make a special episode about my whole experience individually. But yeah, I had to do the custodial core one class. Oh my gosh, that was awful.
How to shoo away the birds.
Everybody kept asking me. Oh, I forgot about that.
Shoo.
I can tell that story. Yeah, they taught us the Disney way to shoo away birds. They stood up at the front of the room, said, "You get into a half squat, put your hands to your side, and move them back and forth, and say, shoo, shoo." I could not believe that happened. I totally forgot about that. No, we were all laughing. But everybody in there kept asking me, "So where are you gonna be custodial at?" I'm like, "I'm not custodial. I'm attractions." And they'd be like, "Why are you here?" I don't know, mini golf. So,
I felt so bad. So like before we all went to Disney, um, we got our assignments, of course, and so like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I'm attractions." Connor was attractions. What was it? Paxton was food and quick service. So we all got our things, and Paxton was like, "Oh, I'm Sunset Boulevard at Hollywood Studios." Connor's like, "Oh, I'm Toy Story Mania," and I was like, "Oh, sweet, Typhoon Lagoon." Then we're just waiting for Phil's response, and he goes, "What the heck is Fantasia Gardens?" Oh God, it's a mini golf course. And he's like, "I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed."
I was very disappointed in that, but
But
then
after
as you could tell, it was very relaxed though.
Well, if you saw how stressed out Connor came home from doing Toy Story Mania every day,
Oh
like,
my gosh, yeah.
and you just came home, you'd always have like your little, like 12 cheeseburgers, didn't even care. Like, you're so mellow, you're like, today was a good day. So I think
Well,
you,
I wouldn't get home till about 1 in the morning or so because I had to work so late. And
yeah,
that's another thing that stunk about you and I, because there's a lull there in the middle. I feel where you and I didn't see each other for a
oh no.
couple weeks or so because Anthony would work in the morning. He'd leave before I'd wake up, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd leave for work before he got back, and then Anthony would be in bed before I got back from work
Well,
that night.
even like on my days off, like I couldn't stay up late to like see Phil because like when you're like walking around back and forth in like 90 to 100-degree heat, you get exhausted. Like
Hmm.
you go to bed so early, and like I know when okay, so I worked at 5 total places, I believe. I
Yeah,
started off.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's like one thing crazy about like compared to you and Jeremy. Like you guys were at I guess you had 2 places,
Yeah,
so
I
you
had my two
were on and off.
places.
So Jeremy just said Hollywood, but I started off at Art of Animation. Then they transferred me to Blizzard Beach.
Hmm.
Then they transferred me to Typhoon. Then I did the Contemporary for like 3 days. So
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
that's like whopping 4 places I had to train at. So I got to see a lot of Disney, which was really cool. And like
Yeah, and I mean that is cool. That's a good experience for that at least.
yeah, so I was like everywhere. So, but I know
All
when I
right.
did,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break real quick here from our sponsors and we'll come back and hear more about all your individual experiences at each place you lifeguarded at.
All
All
right.
right. We'll be right back, guys. Welcome back, everybody. We're still continuing on with Anthony. We were talking about all the places he worked at. He said he got to work at five
Well,
different
technically
resort.
4. It was 4. That
Four,
was
four.
yeah,
Okay.
over guessed.
So you started at art, right? Art of animation.
Yes, sir.
And
So,
would you? I feel like you said that was just your worst one, right?
oh, that was terrible.
Why didn't you like it?
Well, it's because like Art of Animation has the biggest pool on Disney grounds. It's a big blue pool, which is like Finding Nemo.
Out of the resorts?
Yeah, out of all the
Okay.
resorts, like of course it's not bigger than like Typhoon Lagoon's wave pool or
Right.
Blizzard
Yeah.
Beaches, but at the resorts it's the biggest pool. And so like there was like 6 total guards, and just the precautions you had to do was crazy. Like there was like a little kid fountain, and like you would have to like monitor that. And it's like no kid's gonna drown in this little half of a foot pool.
Okay. Wait a second. Before we keep going on your lifeguard, everybody, you
Well,
must know that Anthony failed his deep water test.
I thought we
It,
could dodge this, and
even though he was on the swim team in high school.
can I explain?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I didn't. So when you're a lifeguard, you don't get goggles, okay? And I read in the thing that you don't wear goggles during the swim test.
Hmm.
So I show up in my cat swim trunks with
You're,
yeah, I had cat swim trunks,
oh
so
my
that made me
god.
stand up even more. I got a lot of compliments, and so you had to swim 200 yards, which is down and back 4 times.
Hmm.
So I was able to do that, but not being able to, and like everybody had goggles, so like when you don't have goggles, it's so hard to like see where you're going and like monitor your breathing and stuff. So like I was winded. Like it was like a year and a half since I swam, and midway through the 200, I swallowed water and I stood up and had a cough attack. And the people were like, "Oh, you couldn't finish. You're done." And so,
I can't believe they didn't give you another shot. Like that was just it.
um, oh
It was
no,
just
sorry.
over.
Well, they let me redo it once, but then like when you swallow water, you're so out of breath, so they didn't let me catch my breath.
Hmm.
Then we had to, or the next section was you had to go retrieve a brick without your goggles, which I did perfectly fine. But then you had to tread water with your hands above your waist,
Hmm.
for 2 minutes, and they like gave you no time to catch your breath. So I was like out of breath. So like my mouth went underwater, and they're like, "Well, you're done." I'm like, whatever. But at the end of the
Where
day,
where did you do the test at?
Mickey's Retreat, that
I
little
never.
sport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I never went back there.
I
We
went
can
there
go
like, yeah, I went there
talk
once
about
or
Mickey Drake.
twice. Yeah, I
We
went
can
there
talk about
once.
that in a little bit too.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
That's it. That's his test. Why he failed the deep water test.
At the end of the day, it was worth it because all I had to do was watch Lazy Rivers my whole program, and I didn't have to. I only jumped in like 10 times, so that's not too much for
Ten
being
times is low.
for Disney. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If you're at Typhoon, like a person jumps
How
in
often do they do deep water tests? Like throwing in the dummies in the wave pool and stuff like that.
probably like once or twice a week, just depending on the person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like you have like coordinators monitor you if you're paying attention. If they like see you're doing well, they won't test you. If they see like you're slacking, they'll test you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I only got
That makes
tested
sense.
once and I passed. Uh,
Because you were slacking?
oh yeah. Towards the end of the program, I just stopped caring, you know. But
Wait, did you ever actually have to jump in to help anybody?
oh yeah, plenty of times, especially like because at Blizzard there's this water slide, and then like the what's it called in the river? The what's it called? Oh my
What do you mean?
goodness. When like the water's moving.
Lazy River?
No, it's like in a normal river.
Oh,
The
current?
current,
The
the
current?
current, yeah, current.
Current?
The current's so strong. Like
Mm.
if you're a little kid and you fall in, like you can't get up. It's so dangerous.
Oh,
So
geez.
like the amount of times I had to jump in that pool, and like when you're going against the current, it's like you have like 500 pound weight on your shoulder, and you're just like treading through. So
What was there any times you were actually scared to help someone?
no, the only time I was like truly scared was a person like came with like a scraped knee and it was like bloody all over the place. And
Mm,
I was like, oh God. So I just called the coordinator over and they just dealt with it. And that's like the right thing because we're not obligated to
supposed to
like
do that.
touch blood and stuff.
Gotcha.
But like we did.
Custodial can. I could have.
Oh,
Just putting it out there.
like
I was
we,
I was trained
ooh,
on that blood removal or whatever.
oh goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
In training for lifeguarding, it was so difficult. We had like 3 9-hour days. I think it was 4 9-hour days actually. And oh, it was just
Yeah,
so.
you had weird hour at first. Well, what were your first hours? Because I remember you had a lot of downtime and you didn't really like it.
Oh, yeah. So at Art of Animation, like the pool is open from like I think it was like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So it wasn't like long enough to have like split shifts.
Hmm.
And so like I would get in at like 9 and I would work till 8 o'clock. It was 9 to 8. So like 11-hour
11-hour
shifts.
shifts. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3 times a week. So like I had 4 days off a week, and like I didn't like that just because like I would just stay home and play Fortnite.
Uh, but back to I was gonna ask you to tell the story of when you saw somebody needing help or something, and you were watching them, and you're like, all right, pass my zone.
Yes,
Tell that
that
story.
was so. So this is the first time that I. God, if anybody from Disney's hearing this, so hopefully they don't hear my full name. I won't give any plugs for social media if they come and find me. Um, so there was this little kid, and like he was like coming up and down, and like he was like halfway through my zone and the other lady's zone. And he was like jumping up and down. And you could tell he was struggling. Like he came up and like would take a breath, and then he would like flat over his arms. I'm like, good lord! So like I never jumped in before, so I was like, please just drift over to her, drift over to her, and like she had no idea that he was drowning. So I was like, ah, God. So I blew my whistle, jumped in the kid. I pulled the kid up, and you would swear that he was like dying. He was like, and I was like, you good? And his parents were like, oh, he knows how to swim. And the kid looks his mom dead in the eyes and goes, Mom, I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. And what's the number one thing, Anthony, you're not supposed to do in the lazy river?
Oh, don't stack tubes. That just drives me nuts. Don't hop on each other's shoulders either. I had to get on a lot of people, but you stack tubes, they're going to get on you. I won't.
Yeah, that irked you beyond no belief.
Well, it's like they would stack them like 6 high, and I'm like, God. and I enjoy kids having fun, so like it pained me. Like the rules they had, they were ridiculous. Like you couldn't have footballs in the pool, you couldn't have snorkels in the pool, and like when you'd be like, no snorkels, they'd be like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I don't know the rules. Get out of here.
Yeah, I guess that was one of the bad things about being at Disney. Whenever guests complained, they would always get mad at the individual cast members, as if they're at fault, because all the cast members are just trying to enforce the rules, and everybody's getting so mad at them.
Well, especially at Typhoon, because how many like special events that they have there, and you have to kick everybody out. So there'll be like people in the pool still, and like they're with the event, and then you'll tell like guests without like the wristbands or be like, sorry, you gotta leave. They're like, but they're in the pool, and I paid good money to be in here. It's like, ugh. So
I guess when I was there for my sister's volleyball special event, I was kind of wondering how that worked, because it overlapped the special event time to the just general public time. So
a joke.
So you guys just had to look out for people without wristbands on and just kick them out?
Yeah, coordinators kept good eye on that. We just had to like stack chairs and make that area look all nice and pretty for the dance floor for the event. That was our job. So,
how many special events did you work?
I did 2. Those are the best, because like besides I would hate doing the Starlight Splash, because like there were so many people there, and
oh my gosh, yeah, there were a ton.
But like other events, it's like it could be a group of 100, and like most of them like don't want to get wet, so they'll be like on the dance floor. So I have to like monitor like a total of like 20 people in the pool, and that's like nothing. And so they would always like play good music too. Like they played the Cotton Eye Joe one time.
Yeah, they do play good music at that event.
Yeah,
so let's see. We were basically just at the beginning, where we had checked in and everything. When was the first time I saw you?
The first time you saw me, I moved a couple things into the apartment, and I came out to, this will blow you guys' minds, Phil had a shaved face when I first got there, so I see babyface Phil come out of his good old white car. Was it a Buick? Or what do you
No, it was a Nissan.
Nissan. He comes out, I go, hey, Phil. And he goes, hey, Anthony. And that was it for a few days.
Because when my parents stayed, and I was with them for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking when I was with them, I was thinking that you guys were like, oh man, we're never going to see Phil. We're never going to be here.
His parents are saying the whole program. They're calling parents. So that was the first time.
Oh, the first night that all 5 of us went to Disney Springs together. That was fantastic.
Cooked at Dublin and had our good old batter burgers.
Yep, beer batter burger. Got Paxton hooked. He goes like twice a week now.
Yeah, he loves that place. And then Phil showed us his audition, which you probably are going to go over in another podcast, so I won't say that too much.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned before that I did a character audition.
Completely
failed, but
If you want to see a sample of that video, people, go to Connor Williams Vlogs and find his. You'll see Phil as the thumbnail, and you'll see him dance.
Yep. You will see the complete dance on that video. And I remember they had the dance party going on.
Oh,
and you went out there, grabbed that hula hoop, and just went to town.
Dude, I dunked on those kids. Like, those kids, they were like just dropping to the floor, and I was just swinging my hips, and like it wasn't going anywhere. Then Hayden came and like swung it on his head. And I was like, man,
that was hilarious.
I'm like, this is gonna be a wild program.
That was like the one and only time we hung out with Hayden.
Oh, yep.
That man made 1 million friends in like 2 days.
Oh, Jesus, his personality is so fantastic. Like, in that accent, like, who doesn't want to be friends with a guy with an accent like that?
Yep. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have to enjoy the first week or so before you start working to hang out with your roommates and stuff. Yeah. Because after that, you may not see them for a while.
Oh, that's Disney for you. It's 24 hours.
Not really, but we really had to make most of our days off, especially the ones we had together.
Oh, that's for sure. Those were the best.
All right, let's wrap this episode up. We're gonna continue with Anthony though in our next episode. Anthony and I are not even close to done talking about our times at Disney. We'll pick it back up with what were we just talking about? Our days off together. We'll pick it back up with that in our next episode. Make sure to follow all our social media, guys. Give our Instagram account a follow, Cast Conversations. Twitter's Cast Convo, and Facebook is Cast Conversations. Like our page, give us a follow on there. Be sure to look out for a giveaway coming up. Won't announce it just yet. You'll see it on our Instagram page, and we'll make an announcement in one of our podcast episodes. But we got some cool stuff coming up, so people look out for all that, guys. No, not yet. Sorry, guys. Don't listen to that. But yeah, so we'll see you later, guys. Thank you.